Welcome to the Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. About 30 minutes north of downtown Indianapolis on a gorgeous Monday night. We welcome you to Whitestown for an elimination game between Missouri and Minnesota. This is the second game of our evening slate here in Indy, and earlier today it was a dandy between Indiana and Kentucky in the winner's bracket semi. Grace Fiore, a complete game no-hitter. 6 innings, 1 strikeout, no hits. And she hasn't allowed a hit in the last 11 innings pitched. Indiana is now in the championship game in back-to-back years, trying to defend their crown. The winner of Minnesota and Missouri will get Kentucky on ESPN tomorrow night. Hi again, everybody. Matt Schumacher, the Lady Vol legend, Monica Abbott with you. These two teams, Minnesota and Missouri, both played earlier today. They both played tight games. Be interesting to see how they fare tonight. Yeah, they both played this morning, and it's important to note that the ace pitcher for Missouri, Chase Bethune, did pitch this morning. She pitched 6 innings, while the ace, Riley Thorne, for Minnesota, she only pitched 3 innings. Now, Little League has a rule. You can only pitch 6 innings in a day to be available for tomorrow. A look at Minnesota's path to this point. They won their first game against Iowa. Fell victim to Grace Fiore, as so many have, and then won a 2-run game against Michigan today, in which they held on after leading 6-1 going into the 6th. Kylie Thorne, as you mentioned, started that game, pitched 3 innings, got them off to a big lead. They took her out so she could pitch in this game. Yeah, they definitely did, and it was a smart strategy move so that they could put the ace against the number 2 for Missouri. So Minnesota's strategy is going to be use Kylie Thorne as long as they can to get ahead. Meanwhile, Missouri's rattled off 3 in a row after a 9-inning heartbreaker to Indiana on Friday night that went until 11:40 p.m. Eastern time. Yes, another victim of Grace Fiore. A very, very good game they played against Indiana, just coming up short in extra innings. So they have been in elimination mode ever since Friday night. They've won 3 straight must-win games, trying to make it a 4th to get into the elimination bracket semifinal. 2-1 count here to Kensley Murphy, the daughter of Missouri manager Kendra Murphy. Hitters count here. Kylie Thorne delivers in the dirt. Ball 4. Well, this Missouri team has won in different ways, not only through their district and state tournament, but here at the regional. One thing they have been very consistent in, though, is swinging the bat. 15 runs batted in. They've hit .320. And a steal easily for Kensley Murphy. So far in this regional, Missouri is the only team with every player to tally at least 1 hit. That's the depth that Kendra Murphy told us we could expect from her offense this weekend, as Himmelberg bunts it foul. And when you're going through the losers bracket, trying to get to the championship game, that's exactly what you need. You need your offense to show up and help you win some games. A sign that every hitter in the lineup has at least 1 hit for Missouri is a good sign for them in this game. Himmelberg, good bunt, deadened in front of the mound, and the throw is not in time. Himmelberg beats it out. Runners at the corners, nobody down. So Himmelberg just legging this out as fast as she can on a sacrifice bunt, just a bonus runner, trying to give herself up, works her way safe. Runners on the corners.
For Missouri, the pitcher, 0-0, Gianna Reed.
In steps Gianna Reed. Himmelberg takes second without a throw. 2 in scoring position for Missouri's RBI leader in the Central Region. Five runs batted in on her 6 hits, including a triple earlier in the tournament. And this Missouri team can run. 20 stolen bases in regulation so far for Missouri. One count to Reed with the cleanup hitter Bethune on deck. Nobody out here in the first. Reed smacks it foul. This Missouri team out of Daniel Boone Little League in Columbia, Missouri. It's the 9th straight year that Daniel Boone has put a team in the Central Region. Quite a rich tradition of softball. Over to second base, bobbled, throw to first in time, run comes home. That's Murphy scoring from third, diving back to third, Himmelberg, after rounding coming from second base. 1-0 Missouri.
Gianna Reed sends us to the right side, just straight up good offensive plan here. Kensley Murphy able to score right on the contact there.
Here's Chase Bethune, who, as Monica mentioned earlier, not able to pitch in this game because her services were used to the full extent earlier today for Missouri.
Yeah, they played a really good game against Illinois. Just a 1-0 win for Missouri over Illinois. A pitcher's duel between Chase Bethune and Hadley Morrow for Illinois.
And a 3-hit shutout with 1 walk for Bethune in that victory. They needed every bit of what she gave them to get to this point. Here's the 2-1. Foul. Big pitch from Thorne, 2 down on a strikeout.
A really big pitch here from Kylie Thorne. Chase Bethune just swinging right underneath it here. Big out for Minnesota with a runner on third.
By Coons, right back to Thorne. Could have been a lot worse. Missouri had 2 in scoring position with nobody out. Thorne allows just 1 run. Minnesota comes to the plate when we return. We alluded to it earlier, but Missouri played a dandy of a game earlier today. Just one run was scored in the game against Illinois. They had great defense and excellent pitching by Chase Bethune, who went the distance. A 3-hit shutout, no strikeouts. The defense made all 18 putouts without committing an error. And Missouri handed Illinois a 1-0 loss. Later in the day, Minnesota and Michigan. The team from Minnesota scored 3 runs in the first inning, opening the game with a Morrison single, then a Thorne double, then a Pollock single. They added one more in the third when Pollock drove in. Morrison went up 6-1 on 4 straight singles. And then Michigan made it very interesting in the 6th. Scoring 3 runs. Ultimately, they got out of a bases-loaded jam at Minnesota to get to this point. And interestingly, Minnesota is in this tournament for the first time since 2010. Quite a showing for this team.
Yeah, they definitely came to play. I think a lot of people weren't sure what to expect from Minnesota, and they have definitely performed very well.
Shot at Chase Bethune, playing in an irregular spot, at least in this tournament, in the outfield. Usually we've seen her in the circle, but not able to pitch here after throwing 6 innings earlier today. Minnesota's lineup has produced some big moments in this tournament. They've hit just shy of 300 through their first 3 games. And they, like Missouri, have won in different ways. A 1-0 win over Iowa on Saturday. A 6-4 win against Michigan today. And like Missouri, dropped a game to Grace Fiore and Indiana. Gianna Reed gets the start here. She's thrown 6 innings through 2 games.
Yeah, Gianna Reed is the number 2 pitcher for Missouri, like we mentioned, but she has gotten some innings. Just 2 complete games, 6 innings so far on the tournament, and 10 strikeouts. She likes to throw on her arm side. Has a little bit of a curveball and a changeup. Missouri's going to need her to feed her defense to keep them in this game.
As we mentioned, the Missouri defense was excellent in their win against Illinois today. 18 putouts without an error. They were certainly tested often in that victory. Here's the 1-2 from Reed. And a swing and a miss from Brianna Morrison, 1 away.
Number 6. Pitcher, Kylie Thorne.
All 6 innings today thrown by Chase Bethune. Cannot throw more than 6 if you want to pitch in the next day, and that's what Missouri's trying to do. If they win here tonight, they will have a date with Kentucky tomorrow in the elimination bracket semifinal. Here is Kylie Thorne. Thorne has been asked to do a little bit of everything in this tournament for her team. Pitch, defend, hit. She's done all 3 exceptionally well. One of the stars, no doubt, of the Central region.
Definitely a star in the Central region. There's been quite a few of them that have come out to play this weekend, or this week, shall I say. Gianna Reed making a case for her own stardom there with her 2nd strikeout back-to-back for this pitcher from Davy Boone Little League.
It's interesting, you know, Kendra Murphy, who's coaching the All-Stars from Daniel Boone Little League for the first time in her career, told us she's not seen a pitching staff as deep as the one she has in quite some time. Fouled off the bat of Brentley Pollock. They used 5 different pitchers, Monica, and allowed just 1 run combined through district and state tournament play. And already in this tournament, we have seen 4 pitchers used for Missouri.
Yeah, and that's a good thing if you're Missouri, giving a lot of different options and looks, allowing pitchers to maybe go time through the lineup or go until they feel a little bit, until they start to get hit, giving different looks and different strengths, and really using that staff mentality.
There's some good defense. Mal Piskulik in an easy 1-2-3 inning for Gianna Reed for a deep Missouri pitching staff. The Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN are presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. Gianna Reed began her path to the Little League World Series Regional at a very young age. So did Kylie Thorne. Look at that. That same little girl is now in the circle right now for Minnesota and helped Minnesota Little League earn their first win in this tournament since 2008. Pretty impressive stuff from this group out of St. Clair Little League.
It's very, very impressive.
Rather, St. Charles Little League, first out of the inning. Off the bat of Mal Piskulik.
Third baseman, number 10, Bridget Reisenhuber.
Here's the starting third baseman, Bridget Reisenhuber. Warren, Missouri.
Offering there from Kylie Thorne, working her way back. At times she kind of misses her timing, but then she always comes back. She seems to really have that just fighting spirit. She continues to just effort herself into making good pitches, competitive pitches.
That did catch the heel of Reisenhuber, and she goes up to first.
So this ball just gets away from Kylie Thorne and hits Reisenhuber in the back heel.
Ariel Rose.
Just coming off her hip there, just a little bit late, falling out of her thumb. Reisenhuber on first.
And she goes. 21st steal of the tournament for Missouri.
It seems like almost Missouri's going to get on first. They're going to steal second. Automatic steal.
Here is Ariel Rhodes ahead in the count, 2-0, with a runner in scoring position, which Missouri has had now in each of the first 2 innings. Ball gets away. Up to third goes Reisenhuber without a throw.
Kylie Thorne continues to come back and be competitive, trying to find the zone here.
Finds it and induces a weak pop-up. 2 outs. And now it's up to Chloe Jocko here from Missouri to drive this run in.
The center fielder,
with 2 down.
Chloe Jocko.
This Missouri team outscored their opponents en route to the Central Region 96-1. They have already scored 24 runs here at the Central Region. One of the better offensive performances that we've seen out of any of the 10 teams that began in Indy this week.
Yeah, they have very competitive at-bats. They understand the zone. They have a zone discipline based on what the umpire is calling and zone awareness.
A tournament high 320 batting average. To Chloe Jocko. What a pitch. Thorne battles back after hitting a batter with 1 down and leaves that runner stranded at third. Second strikeout of the game for Thorne. Still a 1-run ball game in Indy. It's been a season of firsts for St. Charles Little League out of Minnesota. First year of the league. First Minnesota team to reach the Central Region since 2010. picked up their first win against Iowa in this region since '08, and they're the first team from the state to win 2 games in this region since at least 2000. That's as far back as the records go, so it could be even further than that. Dan Kozel should get a lot of the credit. He helped start this league, signed up to coach even though his daughter was 6 days too old for the cutoff.
Well, didn't he think his daughter was eligible, and then he found out that she was actually 6 days too old? And how about some character from Dan Kozel being like, hey, I signed up for this, and I'm going to practice what I preach, and I'm going to go out there and still be the coach.
All 3 of his daughters are playing softball right now in the state of Minnesota. And his all-star team here down 1 to Missouri in the bottom of the second. Here's Stella Peterson at the plate, looks at a strike. Leadoff walk for Peterson. Luca, Greta, and Cora all playing this weekend in the state of Minnesota, while Dad Dan is here in Indy doing his thing and trying to help the Minnesota Little Leaguers do what has never been done before, and that's make a trip to the Little League World Series.
Well, it has been a year of firsts, like you mentioned, a lot of big time things for the St. Charles Little League, a lot to be proud of so far. Can they keep going? They're in a pretty good game right now against Missouri.
Please return that foul ball to the first base umpire clubhouse.
He spent many years watching the Little League World Series on ESPN and thought, hey, we can compete with those teams. And we have good enough players here in the state of Minnesota that we should be putting teams in the field at the Central Region. Obermeyer chopper could be a double play ball, and not going to be one. Excellent slide by Peterson to break that up. Speaking of a year of firsts, starting leagues, you can start a league in your local community, and you can do so by going to littleleaguesoftball.org, finding out more information on local teams in your area, and if there isn't one, how you can get started and sanction a league to potentially play here in a regional.
Yeah, very exciting times for Little League softball with the coverage of ESPN on all the networks and platforms. It's just so exciting for softball to be able to have this opportunity to get in front of viewers. And you could be like Dan and say, hey, why not my team? Why not our girls? We can compete with them.
2-0, catches the outside corner to Emma Lang. Dan told us, you know, it's not like they don't have other leagues going on and haven't over the years. They certainly do. But in order to be eligible for this, you have to be in a league that's sanctioned by the Little League World Series. And so they got together, him and some of the other coaches in the area, and created this league specifically so they could put a team together that would be eligible to compete for a World Series championship.
Yeah, it's just hats off again to all those coaches that take the initiative. Take the initiative to start a league, to find a way to create an opportunity for these athletes.
Could be another double play ball. Scooped by Murphy. She'll take it herself. Good running by Lang. Beats it out.
Good piece of defense here by Kensley Murphy, taking it herself and unassisted out at second base, trying to turn 2, just not quite in time.
Lexi Dupreez comes to the plate. leading her team with 4 hits through the first 3 games of the Central Region. Upstairs, runner goes. A double clutch from Kim Corkle, rather Maya Coons, as she was waiting for Murphy to cover the bag, and so it's a stolen base for Lang, and now the game-tying run in scoring position.
So yeah, Maya Coons does a good job.
Good block by Coons there, keeping the runner at bay. One-run games seem to be a theme in this tournament.
Yeah, there's been a lot of really good pitching, a lot of really good defensive plays as well.
So every run paramount. Full count here to Dupree's with Violet Lagerval on deck. Right back to the rubber. Giada Reed handles it, strands 1. Missouri carries a 1-run lead into the 3rd. It has been long paths through the elimination bracket for the team from Columbia, Missouri over the last 2 years. Lost their first game in 2025 to Kentucky. Won 4 games in a row, rather, and then lost to Indiana in the semifinal of the elimination bracket. Trying to do some similar magic here this year.
Yeah.
After falling to Indiana Friday night.
Yeah, I'd want to try to turn their story around through the losers bracket. Having a tough draw versus both Indiana and Kentucky. Both teams were in the championship last year. They played Indiana in game 1 really tight, just losing by 1 run in extra innings. Really could have gone either way. Trying to get back there, but have to get through Minnesota first.
Such a longer path if you lose that first game. Conversely, Indiana won that first game, right, against Missouri, and just 2 games later, they're already in the championship. They're off tomorrow. They're off the rest of tonight. They are just hanging out, waiting to see who their opponent will be on Wednesday.
Yeah, the perks of being in the winners bracket. Get a little bit of extra rest, get to watch the games and watch everyone else duke it out on TV.
2-ball, 2-strike count here to Emma Gilpin. Meanwhile, Kylie Thorne likely in her last inning. Delivers a strikeout, her 3rd. Or do they keep her going?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And one on strategy that you really got to think about. I think when you think about Minnesota, you have to pitch less than 6 innings to be eligible to pitch tomorrow. And just a 1-run difference right now. So can Minnesota's offense do something in the bottom of this inning? Or will they stay with Kylie Thorne, and she would potentially not be eligible if they were to win to pitch tomorrow?
How would you play it?
At the end of the day, you have to get there first, right? Like you have to get there. So if it were me, I would probably stay with Kylie Thorne until the offense. I would actually have a really good talking pump-up speech to my offense at the bottom of this inning.
A pep talk.
A huge pep talk, like, hey, we need to go and score 3 or 4 runs this inning.
2-1. Strike to Gastineau.
Yeah, because if they were to tie it or score, let's say 2 runs and go up 1, and then they could save, take Thorne out and put someone out, start someone else. And then Kylie Thorne could still be eligible to come back in if Missouri were to come back and tie it.
Well, earlier today, Minnesota was up 4-0 when they pulled Thorne, and that game wound up 6-4. And the reason they pulled her was so that she could pitch tonight. And so maybe, to your point, look, you did what you could to save her earlier today. Now you just let her roll and try to win this game and secure your spot in the semifinal tomorrow night.
Yeah, and that would be a huge accomplishment for Minnesota. But, if you get to the semifinal, you're going to want to win that game too. So
sure.
The strategy is very tough when you're in the loser's bracket.
3-2 upstairs. 3rd free pass for Missouri tonight. That is how they've done their damage in this game. Just the lone hit so far, and it was a bunt single by Laramie Himmelberg. In fact, that's the only hit in the game to this point for either team. There's the 12 hitter for Missouri, Lily Ash. Ball in the dirt, easy swipe for second as Gastineau takes a peek and retreats.
Yeah, Kylie Thorne is just doing a good job. In some ways, she misses pitches like that, right? She has a hit batter. Balls have kind of sailed to the backstop at times. She's gotten behind in counts, but then she comes back and throws a pitch that's good enough that the Missouri batters are swinging at it, and they're just rolling over it. She has 2 ground balls on the day already, 2 strikeouts, so she's just working her way back in almost a backwards mentality where they 3-0 and then she comes back and throws a strike, except for this time.
Back-to-back walks for Missouri to open the 3rd, and they turn the lineup over with 1 down for Kensley Murphy.
The shortstop, 27, Kensley Murphy.
Ball never left the infield through the first time through the order for Missouri. Can Murphy change that second time through? In the dirt, good block there by Cam Corkill.
Yeah, Cam Corkill definitely just saved the runners advancing. Missouri steals a lot of bases, as you've been mentioning. Good work behind the plate there by Cam Corkill.
Is popped foul. Full count to Murphy, who reached on a walk stole a bag, came around to score in the first inning. She represents the only run of the night so far for either team. The payoff from Thorne. Chopper to short. Morrison, long throw. It's dug out of the dirt by Obermeyer. 2 away as both runners advance.
Yeah, good catch there by Obermeyer. So just a ground ball to shortstop. Brianna Morrison makes a good throw, but check out Ellery Obermeyer making the catch and the scoop at first base.
Ball 1 to Himmelberg. 3 hits in the tournament, 1 run batted in. She represents the lone hit of the day. It was a bunt single. Take strike 1. Missouri has left runners aboard in each of the first 2 innings. Not in the third. Himmelberg drives in a run. Missouri sends another. It's a 2-run single for Laramie Himmelberg. Now she tries for third, and the ball pops out. Safe. 1 bag away from home.
Laramie Himmelberg, so clutch right when Missouri needed it. 2 runners on base, and they need these runs. Does an excellent job. Plating 2 runs for Missouri.
Fly ball in the air to right field. Peterson makes the catch with the sun right in her eyes, and Missouri leaves 1. They plate 2 on a 2-out, 2 RBI single by Laramie Himmelberg. 3-zip Missouri. Welcome back to the Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. We began the weekend with 10 teams. We're now down to the final 4. Indiana has already secured its spot in Wednesday's championship game. The reigning champs trying to defend their crown. They will await the winner of Kentucky and whoever wins between Minnesota and Missouri tonight. We've got the final semifinal for you tomorrow on ESPN at 7:15. The championship at noon Eastern on Wednesday. Matt Schumacher, Monica Abbott with you. And Missouri has some activity in its bullpen. Ellery Obermeyer getting loose. Both teams have already played today to get here. Line drive out to the shortstop, Murphy.
Third baseman, number 2, Emerson Gussie.
And it'll be interesting to see what Missouri does with its pitching. They're not in quite the same pickle that Minnesota's in because of the depth that they have. Obermeyer getting loose.
Yeah. It's a tough call for Minnesota. If Missouri hadn't scored the 2 runs, you know, you may be thinking about leaving Kylie Thorne in. But now it gets an even tougher decision. Do you go ahead and go to Obermeyer? Because you're down 3-0 now.
And Missouri seemingly was seeing the ball a little bit better at the bottom of the order and second time through against Kylie Thorne than they did at the beginning of the game.
Definitely, that always plays a part, and you're kind of waiting for your offense to get going. So sometimes you got to think, hey, does changing the pitcher kind of help change the momentum and leave the score where it's at, so we at least are within striking distance with a few hits? Those are decisions where a coach really has to understand their staff.
Third strikeout of the game for Gianna Reed.
For Minnesota, #1, Hadley Dornak.
Gianna Reed is just doing a great job on the mound for Missouri on the outside rise ball. Third strikeout of the day, making it move.
If this game only goes 6 and Reed pitches all 6 and Missouri, we assume, wins, both Reed and Bethune would be available for tomorrow's semifinal against Kentucky.
Yeah, and that would be huge.
And plays in innings like that, a 1, 2, 3 third certainly makes it an easier road for Reed to pitch again tomorrow if Missouri needs it. They're up 3. I think we're going to have Missouri and Indiana. So they do decide to stick with Kylie Thorne and try to win this game right now and figure out tomorrow.
I like it. I like it. There's no wrong decision. Gives them an opportunity to see what she can do and make some adjustments, and honestly, hopefully keep St. Charles within striking distance of Missouri. We've seen Minnesota score some runs, so we know their offense can produce. Question is, how long will it take?
You said something in our earlier game today, which is don't lose with your ace on the bench.
Yes. Yeah.
I think Dan Kozel's taking your advice here.
Oh, Dan Kozel, thanks for listening. But no, it's a, it's a good softball quote. You never want to lose with your ace on the bench.
So they will let it ride with Kylie Thorne. And should Minnesota win this game, she's now not eligible to pitch in Tuesday's semifinal. But you got to win tonight to get there.
Yeah, exactly. You have to win tonight to be able to even have that conversation. You know, a lot of even college coaches think the same way. They are like, we can't think about tomorrow. We still have to get through this game today.
And they do have very capable arm behind her in Ellery Obermeyer. You would think she would get the start tomorrow if Minnesota is able to come back and win this game. Meanwhile, Thorne's 4th strikeout sends Bethune back to the dugout.
Yeah, Kylie Thorne just settling in here. She doing a good job out there on the mound. Here comes a changeup. Not much Chase Bethune can do with it.
Slow roller to 3rd. Gussie fires. 2 gone. Quick out of Maya Coons, and now Mal Piscula comes to the plate for Missouri. Up 3 in the top of the 4th. We play 6-inning games unless additional innings are needed. Missouri's already been in one of those. 9 innings.
Yeah, first Indiana, a pitcher's duel between Chase Bethune and Grace Fiore.
To Piskulik. Had it not been for some of the free passes early in this game, this might still be a 1-0 game, possibly a 0-0 game. You think to what Missouri's been able to do with 4 free passes and all the stolen bases. Thorne's pitched a really good game outside of the freebies.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Just at times it seems like her timing's just a little bit off pitching-wise. She loses a little bit of a control when her timing's off with her front foot and her release. But when it's on, those pitches are right there, and she's doing an excellent job.
Has hit a batter and walked 3, and all 3 of those walks have come around to score. Here's the payoff in the dirt, and it's a 2-out walk for Piskulik.
Yeah, walks are one of those things that they're tough because it's part of the learning process for a pitcher. But it's also one of those things that, you know, you never want to put someone on base. No free bases, as they like to say. And sometimes that's a lot harder than it looks.
Strike 1 to Reisenhofer. When you were in the circle, and maybe it was a day in which you weren't hitting your spots quite as regularly.
That didn't happen.
Come on. There was never a day you had a free pass.
Not really. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, in the off times where you did, how did you pitch around that?
I feel like it's always a little bit of just like a little timing issue, or
we'll continue that conversation with the pitching great Monica Abbott after this. 3-0 lead for Missouri. sun's like...
It's great. You're glowing.
Welcome back to Whitestown, Indiana. 3-0 lead for Missouri as we welcome you back into the booth. Matt Schumacher, the pitching legend, Monica Abbott. We were discussing last half inning if you ever had any games in which you walked a few batters. And I asked you, how many batters was your max that you ever walked in a game?
And honestly, I would have to say the thing that I probably never did was walk people, and I'm sure I did, but I will say I take a lot of pride, and I just didn't want to put people on base. So I know I walked people at some point, but sometimes I would just throw it down the middle because I didn't want I didn't want to put them on base.
All right, so the numbers are in. Lee Torben.
Thank you, Lee.
Our stat aficionado did a deep dive. The most walks you had, at least that we can find, was 4 in a game. That was your senior year of high school. And then in college, 3 times in the World Series against Arizona.
Okay.
We'll give you a pass because it's the World Series.
It's the World Series. Were those intentional?
Oh, we better look at that.
Now we're going way back.
Did that grind your gears if Coach said, hey, walk this girl?
Okay, quick story time. We're in Super Regionals. We were at a rematch. I think it was my junior year of a World Series game versus Michigan, and we're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Winner take all to the World Series. Runners at 2nd and 3rd. The only time I ever looked at my coach and said, hey, Coach, I will walk them. Ralph Weekly came out to the mound, and they had their best hitter. She had my number. I think her name was Samantha Finlay. And he said, we're going to put her on. I was like, you want to load the bases with a 1-run lead in the bottom of the 7th? And he said, yes, because I trust you to strike the next person out, and walked away.
Oh,
so
wow.
I looked at my teammates, and my catcher at the time, and was like, I guess we're going to put her on. And of course, guess what I did the next?
You gave up a grand slam. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
By the way,
she struck out, and we went to the World Series.
What a competitor you are, because your first question was how many of those were intentional. And you were right, 2 of them against Arizona in the World Series were intentional.
Hey. This is funny. This is so funny. You guys are bringing me back to my glory days.
We are learning just how fierce a competitor Monica Abbott was, and probably still is. Yes. Here in the booth.
Well, if you're a pitcher, you have to be, right? You have to have that extra competitive fire, just like these girls are starting to light up their competitive fire, starting to learn what it means to play under pressure, to play with the game on the line, for your team to depend on you, and what it takes for them to step their game up in the biggest of moments.
Leadoff walk for Charlie Jensen. Now Cam Corkle making her first at bat. And it comes here in the 4th inning. Fouls that off. A 1-2 count here. Minnesota needs 3 runs as of now to keep pushing this Missouri team. Winner advances to the elimination semifinal against Kentucky tomorrow night. All right, one more Monica Abbott stat.
Uh-oh.
Senior year at Tennessee, 351 innings pitched. You don't see that anymore.
No.
That's a strikeout in the outside corner. Beautiful pitch by Gianna Reed.
Well, Gianna Reed is hearing about all our pitching talk. She just got a beautiful strikeout on the outside corner to Cameron Corkle.
706 strikeouts, 63 walks.
I told you I don't walk a lot of people.
1 out, and we turn it back to the top of the order. Brianna Morrison.
You know, I think at some point, even as a professional, sometimes I would only walk people if I really knew, okay, like this is like a walk. I got a little bit smarter. Okay, we can't throw it down the middle to the pros. And I said, okay, sometimes we need to take a walk to get the next out, if that means we're going to win. If that means
and that's
you
the
get
evolution
out of the
of pitching, right?
Right.
And maturing as a competitor as the levels get higher and higher.
And understanding the game and understanding the matchup. And I think that's one of the really fun things about softball. You know, today we had a really good matchup between Michaela Knight and Grace Fiore in the circle. So when you have these matchups of pitchers versus hitters or pitcher versus pitcher, it makes you understand the game a lot better and the strengths and weaknesses and how you can get people out.
2-2 count here to Brianna Morrison. She struck out to Gianna Reid in her first at bat. Second time through the order for Minnesota. What adjustments can Dan Kozel's team make here? That is the question.
Well, my favorite adjustments are the ups, the 3 ups. Choke up, shorten up, and then move up or back up, depending on where you like to be in the box. So changing the direction you are in the box.
Reid changes direction there, goes outside with her 5th strikeout, 2 gone in the 4th.
But what a competitive pitch from Gianna Reid on the outside corner here. Look at this break in direction on the curveball across the plate. Beautiful pitch from Gianna Reid.
Minnesota seeking its first hit of the night still with 2 down in the 4th as Kylie Thorne looks at the ball upstairs. Checked wing, throw down to first. Boy, that was close. Really close for Charlie Jensen. Dove back in on the backside of the bag.
Yeah.
Did so safely.
Good job by Mallory Piskulik opening up with the tag. Check out this throw on the inside lane, but she opens up for the sweep tag.
And that gets through, breaks up the no-hitter. Well fielded by Ariel Rhodes on a weird hop that could have easily sent Jensen to 3rd. Keeps it runners at 1st and 2nd with 2 down.
So Kylie Thorne gets a good piece of this, but it hits the lip of the grass and takes a hop in the air to Ariel Rhodes, preventing a more advancement for the Minnesota base runners.
Second baseman, number 10, Brindley Pollock.
Brianna Morrison will courtesy run at first for Kylie Thorne. All of a sudden, Minnesota brings the tying run to the plate here in the 4th. Brindley Pollock lined out to first base in her first at bat. And she's choking up here on the 0-1.
Yeah, choking up is such a good strategy when you're struggling hitting a pitcher. It allows you to be able to just shorten your swing, get the barrel into the zone faster.
Over to second base. The flip is there. Minnesota strands 2. Missouri up 3 after 4 in Whitestown. Well, if you haven't checked this out, you have about an hour left. Matt Schick, Michelle Smith, the debut season of Around the Bases presented by Dick's, currently on ESPN Plus. Get you live look in on all the games happening. Right now, New York and Delaware tied 2-2 in the fourth. Tonight is our last Around the Bases coverage for softball, but it will be back August 4th for August 8th, rather, for Little League baseball. We look forward to that one. Meanwhile, back here in Whitestown, 2 innings left for a spot in the semifinal with Kentucky. Kylie Thorne back in the circle for Minnesota. Missouri sends Ariel Rhodes to the plate here in the 5th. And a 3-run lead. Rips it up the middle. Could roll to the wall. She's thinking 2 and maybe 3. There she goes for a 3-bagger. Rhodes is in with a leadoff triple.
Well, Ariel Rhodes was due for a big hit, and she got one here. A nice line drive in the right center gap. But look at that hustle from Lexi Dupree and Stella Peterson, and Ariel Rhodes hustling to get to third base. Look at that. She picks up her coach rounding second. Doesn't skip a beat because she knows her coach is sending her all the way to third for the leadoff triple.
Second extra base hit of the tournament for Rhodes. Meanwhile, Dan Kozel out of the dugout defensively, talking about the strategy here in such a run premium game. With Gianna Reed pitching well for Missouri, you got to think the goal here is to keep Missouri from scoring, and so all the balls are coming home.
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely want to pull in my infield for sure, because we don't want any more runs to score to even have a chance, as Minnesota is starting to run out of outs.
Thorne's line tonight through 3 innings earlier today for Minnesota in their win against Michigan, which was also a must-win game. Louis Jaco comes up bunting. Foul.
Yeah, showing bunt here. Just to note, it was not a squeeze. Ariel Rhodes did not take off from third.
Mile-high pop-up. Finds the outfield grass. Dupree's catches coming home. Rhodes. She will beat the throw. 4-0 lead for Missouri on the sac fly from Jaco. Boy, that ball just carried and carried and carried. It looked for a second like Brinley Pollock, the second baseman, thought she might have a play on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Off the bat, it looked like it was going a little bit deeper, but it just went higher.
So 1 down, base is clear for Emma Gilpin. Pollock bobbles, gathers, throws. 2 down.
The left fielder, number 7, Declan Gastineau.
Declan Gastineau's had a nice tournament. Batting .300. Also came around to score tonight. One of 10 newbies for this Missouri team this year. That brings back just 2 players from their semifinal team a year ago. They were so close to getting into the championship game. Lost to Indiana in the elimination bracket semifinal. Gastineau smacks it foul.
Yeah, I think it goes to prove with just 2 returners coming back from Missouri, just goes to show the depth this league has. You said the Daniel Boone Little League, they've sent multiple teams here to the Central region, but established in 1959. This is a league that has a rich history in the Central region and continues to put out quality softball players.
We asked Kendra Murphy, their manager and third base coach, just about the depth of softball in her community. And she's somebody that's lived and breathed it since she was 4 years old, coaches the local high school team, and said the whole community just bought into softball. For whatever reason, it's a sport that has really gained traction over the years in Columbia, Missouri, and they just keep churning out great players.
Yeah, and when you have that pipeline system, it all starts with that rec league, you know, rec league to club to high school.
Now that hit Gastineau. She is safe because she was in the runner's lane, and she advances on a drop third strike.
So Declan Gastineau swings and misses at this rise ball from Kylie Thorne, but Corkle just can't hang on to it. Ellery Obermeyer is on the white bag. It's important to remember at this young age, she is able to move to the orange, the safety bag, on a drop third strike to be able to create a throwing lane for Corkle.
Lily Ash.
Perhaps some more explanation needed here for Dan Kozel. And we might even see a challenge here potentially on whether or not that should have been an out because of runner's interference. Now, as we mentioned when seeing it live, it appeared, at least at first look, like Declan Gastineau did not veer from the runner's lane and therefore had the right to the base on the throw up the line. Ooh.
Ooh.
Man, that was closer than I thought.
Yeah, it seems like she's almost hovering on top of the line rather than in the lane. Depends on how technical we want to get here.
So we're going to get one more look here. Probably the best angle from right behind home. Clearly in fair territory in the beginning. When the ball is picked up, veers back over, but boy, that's a very close judgment call there.
Yeah, that's a very close judgment call. I think she was kind of moving towards the runner's lane when she got hit.
Well, the other question too is whether or not this ends up being a reviewable play, and we won't know the full extent of that because there's not a mic system for the umpires. But Steve Lewis is going over to chat with Dan Kozel, and he has confirmed that it's not a reviewable play. And Dan says, all good. We continue. More plays have become reviewable this year, but that is not one of them. Lily Ash at the plate, runner goes, throw down, tag is there. Now does Missouri challenge this? It appears Kendra Murphy is suggesting she wants to. for now, Minnesota thinks they're out of the inning. Kendra Murphy says not so fast. I don't think we've had back-to-back reviews yet in this tournament, so why not tonight?
Why not now? And I think it does look like Declan Gastineau's foot does get underneath the tag. The ball beats her, but the tag is up at her waist, and her foot is nice and low in there. Good effort from Brianna Morrison, hanging on to the ball.
Kendra Murphy has the best coach's challenge record of the tournament so far. She's 3 for 5.
That is a really good
Really
record.
good. It's about to be 4 for 6, in my opinion. She's got a knack for it.
Yes. And I want to give a shout out to Cameron Corkle. After that, what would be considered potentially a throwing error on Declan Gastineau on the drop third, she comes back first pitch and makes a great throw down to second base to potentially get Declan Gastineau.
Now, the other thing there at the end of that, which I did not see upon the first couple of looks, is that Gastineau's foot pops off the bag. The question is, was the glove on the foot when the foot came off the bag? Here's it live. Now here's it slow.
Yeah, they kind of fall on top of each other in the midst of athleticism, speed, and the play. Trying to find the balance.
Right there. Now, right there it pops off, and the glove is clearly not on the leg.
It's a little bit funny because they're both just staring at the umpire. What are you gonna call?
It's a bang-bang play.
Yeah.
Great throw by Corkle, as you mentioned. Beautiful tag from Morrison. Had to make a lunging effort to get there.
Yeah. And good effort by Morrison, trying to get the tag down and then not like fall up on top of her. She fell next to her.
Call on the field, remember, is out. Is there enough evidence to overturn it and keep Missouri on the field here at the plate in the top of the 5th? Final ruling is out at second base. So Minnesota gets out of the inning, and we go to the bottom of the 5th after Missouri plates 1 thanks to an Ariel Rhodes triple. Cam Corkle, she's pretty pumped up with the ruling on the field, as she should be. Minnesota down 4. Welcome back to the Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Downtown Indy all lit up. About 30 minutes north here in Whitestown, we have the final elimination game of the day. Central Region winners by state. Ohio leads all states by a lot. Indiana in the championship game on Wednesday, trying to pick up their 9th. Missouri's won a couple back-to-back in 2021 and 22. Minnesota has never won it all here at the Central Region. But they've won multiple games in this year's Central Region for the first time since at least 2000.
Yeah, it's good to see Minnesota back here at the Central Region.
Swing and a miss on the 1-1 by Stella Peterson. Gianna Reed back in the circle, still has allowed just the 1 hit, no runs. Very efficient day for the number 2 on the Missouri staff, and has her 6th strikeout.
Yeah, Gianna Reed has just stepped up for this Missouri team when needed today. Strikeout on the rise ball in the outside corner. Beautiful pitch. 6th of the day.
They're not here.
One and one to Ellery Obermeyer.
Yeah, see, I watched until they started before. And I left the room, and then we went ahead. I'm like, I'm not going to watch anymore.
Full count. In the air to right, and well positioned was Rhodes for the 2nd out of the 5th. Well, you can find Little League on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and all the official handles at Little League. And don't forget to use the hashtag LLWS. Double barrel action in the Missouri pen. Mallory Paskulik is in there, as is Ariel Rhodes. We've yet to see pitch in this tournament, but did pitch in the district and state tournaments for Missouri. They can go 5 deep. Kendra Murphy thought we would see 4 or 5 this week, and we have. 2 gone for Emma Lang. And an 0-2 count for Gianna Reed. Gets off the glove of Kensley Murphy at short.
So she does a good job sending this the opposite way, but Kensley Murphy just doesn't get quite around it enough, and it hits off the heel of her glove.
Strike to Lexi Dupree's. Reed has, even with that error, retired 9 of the last 12 batters she has faced, and allowed just the 1 hit still tonight. Quickly 0-2. Working on her 7th strikeout, trying to send Missouri to the final inning here. goes. Pops it foul. Could get out of play. It does. Winner advances to the semifinal tomorrow night against Kentucky. Missouri was in the semifinal last year. Fell just short to Indiana. Reads 2-2 as a strikeout, her 7th. And she sends Missouri to the 6th with a 4-run lead. Missouri 1 inning away from clinching a spot in the semifinal where they were last year. Kentucky awaits. Indiana has already clinched a spot in Wednesday's championship. The reigning World Series runners-up. We'll wait to see who comes out of the elimination bracket semifinal tomorrow night, 7:15 on ESPN. It'll be Kentucky and the winner of Minnesota, Missouri for that final spot in the championship. Lily Ash leads it off for Missouri. Still Kylie Thorne in the circle for Minnesota.
No, I love this for Kylie Thorne, just getting an opportunity to really see her stuff and what things that she needs to improve on for next year, but also how the level that she can compete at against and be successful in this Central region and Little League. It's just such a great opportunity to be tested, to be challenged, have success, but also have learning experiences.
Hard hit, backhanded it short. Could it be a play? 4 and out. Yes, come on. Brianna Morrison with some glove work and a strong arm at short.
Wow, that was impressive. Brianna Morrison, fire us up. Look at that throw across the diamond. Incredible.
Very close. Morrison did a great job of collecting her feet to make that strong throw on platform and gets the first out. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Reset her feet, had a good weight transfer and a huge follow through. So good job.
Fly ball into shallow right and it drops. Peterson thought Pollock was calling for it. Pollock thought Peterson was going to get it. And it's a single for Kensley Murphy.
Yeah, just a little miscommunication.
Number 6, second baseman, Laramie Himmelberg.
Once you call it once, you got to keep calling it until you hear someone. Yeah, she definitely thought she was being called off. Just a little bit of a miscue.
Himmelberg sends it into the gap. And it's down for a base hit. Both runners will stay put at one base. First and second, one down for Gianna Reed.
So Laramie Himmelberg's first pitch swinging, looking for that outside curveball. Didn't quite get full barrel on it, but got a really good piece.
To short. Could be an inning-ending double play. It won't get there. Reed is safe. Throw home. Not in time. 5-0 Missouri. Good base running from Kensley Murphy.
Well, Brianna Morrison does a good job going to second base for a potential double play. Just the throw not in time, but Ellery Obermeyer heads up throwing home. Everything just a beat short for Minnesota.
One count to Chase Bethune. Meanwhile, Gianna Reed, who's pitched a gem tonight, now has 7 runs batted into the regional. MVP caliber stuff.
Definitely MVP, just clutch.
That's right. He won them all. Oh, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, too.
2-2 to Chase. Lays off. Reed goes. Throw is not in time from Corkle. That'll do it for Missouri in the 6th. They score 1 on an RBI from Gianna Reed. The Little League Softball Regionals on ESPN are presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. Gianna Reid, 7 strikeouts tonight, just the 1 hit allowed. And a shutout through 5 innings. Her night is done. She will pass the ball to teammate Ariel Rhodes, who will now come in to close it out with a 5-run lead, thanks to the excellent pitching and hitting of Gianna Reid.
Yeah, Gianna Reid, just have a day out there, girl. She did great. 7 strikeouts, a little bit of a rise ball, curveball, and changeup all looked really good. She's going to pass the ball to Ariel Rhodes, the lefty out of the bullpen.
This is the 5th different pitcher used in the regional by Missouri. No other team has used more than 3.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, and Kendra Murphy, head coach for Missouri, told us, you know, we have a very deep pitching staff. We expect to see up to 4 pitchers during this tournament. And she was spot on when she said that. And I think the depth of Missouri's pitching staff is allowing them to continue to make a run through this losers bracket.
Violet Lagervall going to try to start a rally here. Her team has managed just 1 hit, but they're facing a new pitcher here. They need 5 runs to extend the game. 1-1. And Rhodes ahead in the count here. Gussie and Dornack also due up for Minnesota. This is a totally different look, isn't it?
Yeah, different style. That's lefty Ariel Rhodes. Just a real slow developing changeup. A really good pitch. Just a couple that have come in a little too low. And then also a different look just coming from the other side. Being a little lefty on righty action rather than a righty on righty.
Strikeout there. 8th of the night for Missouri pitching. 1 down to the 6th.
Oh, Ariel Rhodes, first strikeout of the night, gets the opportunity to come off the bench, and she uses it wisely, going to her best pitch, that changeup. Whew, dirty.
What a luxury for Kendra Murphy to have 5 arms.
Yeah.
5 usable arms in a regional.
Yeah, 5 competitive, usable arms. I mean, that is definitely a luxury.
And tomorrow she'll have both of her aces available should Missouri close this out. Chase Bethune, Gianna Reid. Both will be ready and eligible if called upon in the semifinal against Kentucky. 1-1 pitch. Gussie looks at a strike. Back-to-back strikeouts for Rhodes, the secret weapon out of the Missouri bullpen.
I like how you said that, the secret weapon, the secret lefty coming out of the bullpen, back-to-back strikeouts with the secret changeup. That's oh so slow. She pulls the string on it. It looks so good. I love this. Ariel Rhodes just waiting for her opportunity to come in and capturing it.
And now Hadley Dornack. Minnesota down to their final out. If this is the end of the road for Dan Kozel's team, what a tournament. First win since 08, first trip since 2010. First time picking up multiple victories since at least 2000. None of these girls were born when the last time all 3 of those were accomplished. Pretty amazing stuff for Minnesota. Strikeout, no, foul tip, no, it was missed. Throw up to first to complete it is there. 3 straight strikeouts for Rhodes. And Missouri has not allowed a run in the last 12 innings. They have pitched their way into the semifinal against Kentucky tomorrow night.
I know this is a game that they're very much looking forward to. They've been working hard through the losers bracket. Their pitching is stepping up. Their offense doing what it needs to do.
So Missouri will get right back to where they were a year ago. Monica, that's in the elimination bracket semifinal. Instead of facing Indiana, they'll face the team Indiana beat today, Kentucky. And these teams met last year. This should be a fascinating matchup with great pitching and capable bats.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a really good matchup. Potentially going to be Michaela Curley-Knight for Kentucky and Chase Bethune for Missouri. We've seen both of these pitchers throughout the tournament, both very dominant and have a good way of leading their team in the circle.
Missouri with back-to-back shutouts today to keep their trip alive here at the Central Region. For Monica Abbott, our entire ESPN crew, Matt Schumacher saying good night from Whitestown. We hope you'll join us tomorrow night for the semifinals, 7:15 on ESPN.